Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And salutations to the brethren pushing forth this word in truth and in sincerity. Alright, this is your brother Yahweh Allah from GMS Chicago, coming at you again with another lesson. Alright, now it's going to be a quick lesson, just getting a few precepts in regards to how the Democrats over in Texas broke quorum, all right, in order to stop the legislation process from going forward. All right, they were saying that they were trying to rewrite the district maps or the maps over in Texas. All right, and since they had the majority, it would go through. But in protest, the Democrats, they fled and went to other states that are Democrat led. Okay, and this is just one example of the many divisions that are pushed on this world in this society. All right, and the scriptures say that the division of a nation brings this downfall. So this is the time that we're in. All right, the prophecies are speaking. Okay, World War III is at the door. Pretty much here. All right, they got to push forth the MOTB. Okay, and after all these things come to pass, also along with it is the downfall of Babylon the Great. All right, the great whore that's spoken about, is written about in the book of Revelations. All right, so without further ado, just want to get these quick precepts in. Lord willing, I pray this is an edifying lesson. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 25. It says, "And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation." All right, and this that the Democrats broke quorum goes to show that they can't come to an agreement civilly. All right, they can't come together and just argue their case. The times for talks, all right, is dying. So they literally have to flee their state in order to just simply stop the process. Okay, it says, "Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" Okay, and this is just one of the latest examples. You have the whole Epstein thing. All right, a lot of even amongst the Republicans, they voted for DJ Trump because they wanted the Epstein files to be released. But now that same Republican Party is downplaying it, acting, pretending like they didn't run under that premise. Okay, you have that. Recently, they deployed federal agents to Washington D.C. Okay, so this is just a few examples. More and more, we're going to see the division of this place, which is showing the downfall of this kingdom, or queendom, I should say. All right, verse 27, it says, "And if Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges." But if I'll just read it through. I want to read verse 29, but I'll read through verse 28. It says, "But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of God, then the kingdom of God is come unto you." All right, verse 29, it says, "Or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. And that's how the Most High, the scriptures tell you in the book of Exodus that the Most High, he is a man of war. All right. So, he's a tactician, all right, in the art of war. So that's exactly what he's doing. He's sowing that spirit of division, all right, amongst this wicked kingdom, all right, and it's binding them up. Before they used to be very strong and powerful because they're all united, all right, mainly united in the oppression of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, they're all in cahoots together with the other nations to make money and merchandise over our people. Okay, which was their strength. But now, all right, you have the left, the right. You have the ones that aren't even affiliated. Okay, to either side. Okay, so in many different levels, you have division being sown. Okay, and that's binding them up. Part of binding up these Edomites is them being divided. All right, them being revealed on the wicked works they've done on the earth. All right, and once they be binded, the Most High is gonna come in. All right, and physically destroy these Edomites, man. Okay, but first the strong man has to be bounded. Not that he couldn't do it and destroy this place, like it's written in the Apocrypha. It says that with one rough word, he could destroy this place. All right, it's not like he couldn't do that, but hey, this is the Lord's show, and this is the way he has set it up. All right, and he's gonna bind this Edomite. He's gonna expose him. All right, on all levels, man. Financially, socially, okay, morally, on all levels, man. He's gonna be destroyed. All right, the last destruction is the physical. All right, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 19, and I'm gonna start in verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother." All right, and in the book of so this is the book of Isaiah. This is after the destruction of ancient Egypt. All right, Israel was already delivered from ancient Egypt. So this Egypt is talking about a future one. All right, and in the book of Revelations, it tells you that that the Lord was crucified. All right, being his image. All right, in the land which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right, which we know is talking about this Babylon the Great. All right, also known as the U.S. Okay, Sodom because we pushed that vile affection spirit, and Egypt because they got everybody slaving it, man. Okay, it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." So again, that spirit of division. "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof." So that's how the Lord is going to destroy them, by killing their spirit from within. It says, "And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to have them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." Okay, because at the end, at the high levels, these Edomites, they do these ritualistic sacrifices, man, unto these fake gods. Okay, you have when they meet up, the place that they meet up, with the Bohemian Grove, they always have a yearly meeting where the richest companies, the heads of the richest companies, and the bankers meet up in the Bohemian Grove, and they all put on hoods, you know, in the front of the idol of Molech, which is that big owl. Okay, so behind closed doors, you know, they're trusting in these on the left hand side, man. All right, because the Lord ultimately has set that up for them to be deceived on the left hand side. You know, as it is written, it says that the deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay, but for some time he let them have power, as it is written in Job 9:24. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. All right, so at that point, you know, everything was going well for them, everything was working out. But as we get closer to the end, you're going to see that division spirit. You're going to see their counsel failing. All right, like it's written in the book of if I'm not mistaken, Obadiah. It tells you that the counsel of Esau Edom is failed. All right, or if there's any more wisdom in Teman. Okay, these men that were known to be quote unquote scientific, so-called, who know how to do much research. All right, now their councils can't stand. Now they can't come together and set up their laws. Now they have to flee and break quorum. All right, to get what they want. You know, I'll finish it off with this last precept here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season. So to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die, and a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. And the time that we're in is the time of breaking down. All right, you know, we're breaking down the strongholds that Esau Edom has put over our people. You know, having our people believe that the Lord is a quote unquote white person. All right, the scriptures tell you that his feet were like unto burnished brass. All right, in the Spanish it tells you bronze. All right, a dark brown derivative. Okay, you know, these fake churches out here teaching by the precepts of men. All right, you know, all the strongholds that have our people defeated are being broken down. You know, alongside with the glory that these Edomites had at one point. Okay, so they're getting divided, they're getting exposed. All right, meanwhile, the elect, for them, is the time to build up. They're building themselves up in the spirit of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, all right, putting on as the elect, okay, putting on the scriptures, all right, and praying to the Most High for the deliverance. So these are the times that we're in. You can see it, and surely more division is to come. You know, so just want to do that quick lesson. Lord willing, I praise the edifying. Like always, giving all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Salutations to the brethren, pushing forth this word in truth and in sincerity. And to the next one, say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, and Abab of all.